do this when you feel ever lonely. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about loneliness for a moment. It's a feeling that sneaks in like a shadow, often when we least expect it. You can be surrounded by a crowd and yet, deep inside, feel like no one truly sees you. But I want you to know something today. Loneliness isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. When you feel lonely, don't run from it. Don't drown it out with noise or distractions. Sit with it. Yes, I said sit with it. Because loneliness has a way of showing us who we really are. It strips away the external validation and forces us to look inward. And that's where the real work begins. Why solitude is the key to finding yourself. Let me tell you something real quick. There's a big difference between being lonely and being alone. A lot of us, we run from being alone like it's the worst thing that could happen. We fill every moment with noise, scrolling through our phones, turning on the TV, calling someone, just to avoid sitting still with ourselves. But let me ask you something. How can you figure out who you are if you're never alone long enough to listen? See, solitude is not the enemy, it's the secret weapon. Solitude isn't there to punish you, it's there to prepare you. It's in those quiet moments when the world steps back that you finally get to meet yourself. And let's be honest, some of us have been running from that meeting for a long time. Think about it. When you're always surrounded by people, opinions, and distractions, how much of you is really showing up? Are you doing what's in your heart, or are you just doing what everyone else expects? Solitude gives you the chance to strip all that away. It's like standing in front of a mirror, but instead of seeing your reflection, you see your soul. You get to ask yourself, what do I want? Who am I? What makes me feel alive? What makes me feel alive? And I know what you're thinking, but being alone feels heavy. It feels sad. Of course it does at first. That's because you're detoxing. All that time you've been avoiding your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams. It's like dust in a room you never clean. But the moment you start running and start embracing that solitude, you begin to clear it out. You start breathing easier. You start hearing your own voice. Here's the beauty of solitude. It's not about isolation. It's about restoration. When you take the time to be with yourself, you refill your tank. You start seeing things more clearly. Your past, your present, and even your future. You stop depending on other people to make you happy because you realize happiness was inside you all along. That's the power of solitude, the power of reaching out. Don't let pride keep you lonely. All right, let's keep it real for a moment. Some of y'all are sitting at home feeling lonely, scrolling through your phone, looking at everybody's highlights on social media and thinking, why doesn't anyone check on me? But let me flip the script for a second. When was the last time you checked on somebody? When was the last time you picked up that phone, sent a message, or knocked on a door? Now I get it. Reaching out can feel uncomfortable. It's hard to admit you need someone. It's tough to be the one to take that first step. Maybe you're worried they'll reject you, or worse, ignore you. But let me tell you something. Pride and fear are the two biggest walls we build between ourselves and the people who can actually help us. See, human connection is one of the most beautiful things in life, but connection doesn't happen by accident. It happens because someone takes the first step. Someone decides, you know what, I'm not going to let fear hold me back. I'm not going to sit here waiting for someone to read my mind or notice my struggles, I'm going to reach out. And here's the thing, reaching out doesn't have to be some grand, dramatic gesture. It can be something as simple as saying, hey, I was thinking about you, or I could really use someone to talk to right now. It's not about making it perfect. It's about making it real. And you know what else? You'd be surprised how many people out there are waiting for the same thing you are, or just a little sign, a little reminder that they're not alone. Sometimes your courage to reach out is the exact thing someone else needed to feel seen. Reaching out is a two-way street, but somebody's got to take that first step, and it might as well be you. Don't let pride convince you that you don't need people. We all need people. We're wired that way. And the ones who care about you, they'll be glad you made that call, sent that text, or started that conversation, while creating something can heal your soul. Let me tell y'all something. There's a kind of magic in creating. I'm not talking about painting the next Mona Lisa or writing a best-selling book, although, hey, if you've got that in you, go for it. I'm talking about using your hands, your mind, your energy to bring something into this world that wasn't there before. That right there, that's powerful. See, when life feels heavy, when you're feeling lost or stuck, creation becomes your way out. It's like therapy, but instead of lying on a couch, you're building, crafting, or shaping something that reflects who you are. It's a reminder that even in the hardest moments, you've got the ability to make something meaningful. Think about it. Every time you create, you leave a little piece of yourself behind. You're saying, I was here. I had something to say. I had something to give. And it doesn't matter what you create. It could be a song, a story, a recipe, or even a beautiful garden in your backyard. It's not about the masterpiece. It's about the process. And you don't have to be an expert to start creating. Some of the most beautiful things in life come from beginners just trying something new. You might think, I'm not creative, but let me stop you right there. Creativity isn't about perfection. It's about expression. It's about taking what's inside you, your emotions, your thoughts, your experiences, and putting it out into the world in a way that's uniquely yours. Here's the best part. Creating something can pull you out of your own head. When you're focused on building, you're not overthinking. You're not dwelling on what's wrong. You're in the moment, working on something that feels bigger than your worries. That's when healing starts. That's when the heaviness starts to lift. Creating is how you remind yourself that you're capable, that you have value, and that you can contribute something amazing to this world, no matter how small it might seem to you. If you don't speak life into yourself, who will? All right, let's have some real talk right now. Some of y'all are walking around speaking negativity over your life like it's your full-time job. You mess up and you say, oh, I'm so stupid. You hit a setback and you tell yourself, I'll never get it right. And listen to me. Words are powerful. The most important words you'll ever hear are the ones you speak to yourself. It's like, not today. Can you do it tomorrow? It's like, I just can't. You words are powerful. The most important words you'll ever hear are the ones you speak to yourself. Let me ask you something. If a friend came to you and said they were struggling, would you talk to them the way you talk to yourself? No, you wouldn't. You'd lift them up. You'd remind them how amazing they are and what they're capable of. But when it comes to you, Oh, now you're the toughest critic in the room. That's got to stop today. See, there's a voice inside you that's listening to every word you say about yourself. And whether you realize it or not, that voice believes you. If you keep telling yourself, I can't, or I'm not enough, guess what? You'll start living like it's true. But flip the script, and the whole game changes. Start speaking life into yourself. Wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, I've got what it takes. I'm built for this. I'm worthy of everything I'm working for. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, say it anyway. Speak it until your spirit catches up with your words. And don't just stop at the big moments. Speak life into the little ones too. When you're facing a tough day, remind yourself, I've handled hard things before, and I can do it again. When you achieve something small, celebrate it. Say, I'm proud of me. You've got to be your own biggest cheerleader, because waiting for somebody else to do it, that's a losing game. Here's what I need you to understand. The way you talk to yourself sets the tone for how you handle everything else in life. When you build yourself up, you carry that energy into your relationships, your goals, your challenges, everything. Speaking life into yourself isn't just a habit, it's a foundation. It's how you build confidence, resilience, and faith in your journey. By trusting the process will change your life. Let me ask you something. How many times have you been working towards something and it feels like nothing's happening? You're putting in the time, the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears, but the results? Oh, they're nowhere to be found. You start thinking, maybe this ain't for me. Maybe I should just give up. But let me tell you right now, that's where most people get it wrong. And see, life is a process. Success, growth, healing, it doesn't happen overnight. It's like planting a seed. You put it in the ground, you water it, and then what? Nothing. For days, weeks, maybe even months, it looks like nothing is happening. But under the surface, oh, things are moving, roots are growing, the foundation is being built. That's what trusting the process is all about, believing in the unseen, even when it feels like you're stuck. Now, I know it's hard to trust the process when you're in the middle of it, when you're facing rejection after rejection, or when you're working 3 jobs just to make ends meet. It's tough to believe it's all leading somewhere. But here's the truth. Every setback, every struggle, every no you hear is part of the process. It's shaping you, preparing you, making you ready for what's coming next. You've got to understand that success isn't just about the end result. It's about who you become along the way. It's about the lessons you learn, the strength you build, the patience you develop. If everything came easy, you wouldn't value it. You wouldn't be ready for it. Trusting the process means accepting that the journey is just as important as the destination. And let's not forget, there's timing involved. You might think you're ready for that blessing right now, but life knows better. Sometimes you've got to wait, not because you're being punished, but because the timing has to be right. You've got to grow into the person who can handle the success, the love, the opportunities you're praying for. So when things get hard, when the road feels long and you're tempted to throw in the towel, remember this: the process isn't there to stop you, it's there to shape you. It's getting you ready for the breakthrough that's coming if you just hold on. Loneliness is not permanent. It's just a season, not a lifetime. Use this time to prepare for the next chapter, because when it comes, you'll be stronger, wiser, and ready for it. Ladies and gentlemen, loneliness might feel like a heavy weight, but it's also an opportunity to grow, to rediscover yourself, and to find strength you didn't know you had. So the next time it creeps in, don't fear it, face it, do the work, and remember, you're never truly alone because you've got everything you need right inside of you. And so, with that said, now go on and live boldly. You've got this.